the building P1, formerly known as Lopez Nursing Building. This is similar to the project that we did at the Ruben Garcia building. Just a couple of months ago, we received a call from the Border Patrol. They're currently leasing this building to report a leak. We had just, again, done some work to the roof and the exterior of the building. Upon inspection, we found that the shear line has multiple leaks and needs to be repaired or replaced. So again, the work will be done by Daikin in the amount of $122,605.14. And it is under buy board contract number 733-24. This is looking at the previous project. This is in line to what we paid for the Ruben Garcia building. It's the same size. Again, we're replacing the line from one end to the other end of the building. And this should take care of the leaks that we currently have in that building.
Chair calls Mr. Rangel.
Thank you, Judge. Were we getting the money from this one too, Mr. Vela?
Yes, I'm sorry. The funding will come from the deferred maintenance fund.
Okay.
Again, we do have right now projected that we'll be adding about $3.5 million to the fund. And that should be this is should be one of the projects that we'll be able to address using the $3.5 million.
And the time frame on this?
We're still working on that, sir. One of the biggest unknowns, obviously, it's always the delivery of the material. Again, that's the work itself should be completed in around two months, but it's getting the piping in. So we're waiting on the time frame.
And would you happen to know if the equipment is in stock or do you have to put the order in and then wait from there?
So
you wouldn't know?
I'm not sure if the materials are in stock somewhere nearby. They haven't placed the order until we actually approve and give them a contract.
Okay. If you could maybe hopefully let us know on the time frame on that.
Yes, we'll reach out to the contractor and see if they have a timeline. We can certainly pass that information at the Thursday meeting.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's good. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, any other
We're done.
No.
questions?
That's it.
Okay, we go then into item number 4, approval for repairs to the South Campus chiller number 3. Again, Mr. Vela.
Yes, board members, we are requesting approval to repair chiller number 3 at the South Campus. The work will be performed by Train, and the total amount is $145,911. We do need to do a complete overhaul of the chiller. We are currently operating with 3 chillers at the South Campus. We do have a total of 4 chillers. One typically is a reserve chiller. This chiller started experiencing problems this summer. After a review of the chiller, it was determined that we do have some coolant leaks or freon leaks that need to be addressed. So we are recommending that the chiller be overhauled. This is approximately, I believe it's close to 20 years already. It's one of the original chillers that was installed when the campus was built. We did compare whether to buy a brand new chiller or do a complete overhaul. Again, the cost was significant. I believe it was for a new chiller was about almost 400,000 at this point. With this work, the chiller should function as a new unit again.
Well, I think it is important, Mr. Vela, as I'm sure all of us are aware, we unfortunately continue to have exceedingly hot, very, very hot weather, on the low end of 90s to as much as a little over 100 degrees. And obviously, we want to make sure that the students as well as the professional personnel be in a position where they will be able to at least be able to address the particular issues, whether it's a classroom or getting involved in the actual work, so to speak, within the different campuses around. And I think it is important that our overall air conditioning equipment, including chillers, be in as the best of condition as we possibly can, for the obvious reason of the weather that we unfortunately are going through. I think that's one issue that ought to be addressed by all of you, by the personnel, and particularly more so our you know our construction engineer, our architect. It's we 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 have to look after our, not only the faculty but also our student enrollment.
Yes, Judge,
Okay.
and I think that that's one of the priorities that we currently have here, from the facility standpoint, is making sure that our HVAC systems are working to keep our buildings comfortable for our students and staff. And then the other thing that we've addressed throughout the last couple of years is the roofs that needed to be addressed. And
Good.
so, yeah, that's has been part of the priorities that we've been um, fortunate to do with the deferred maintenance funding that has been provided through the savings that we've accumulated. So again, these were projects that were needed. Again, some of the equipment and roofs, like I said, especially at the South Campus, that we're reaching already end of life, 20 years already since the campus was opened. A lot of this is original equipment that was installed.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Mr. Rangel.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge. So the recommendation of fixing it or repairing the chiller, is it coming from Crane, or is it coming from our staff?
No, it is coming from Train. We did have them do a review of the chiller, and they did provide us a listing of all the components that need to be overhauled. They're included in your board packet. It is a list. It's a long list of items.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, the overhaul will pretty much bring all the new components to that chiller, basically making it a new unit. Again, we are not right now considering actually replacing the complete chiller because one, the time frame to get the chiller in was going to be there's a good lead time for that. The estimate that we were given was about 6 months to get a new chiller in. So based on their recommendation, they said that with the overhaul, we should be good with that unit again.
So I kind of agree with what Judge is saying. I mean, it's no secret that we're facing really bad weather, and I think it's going to get worse throughout the years. So the only concern is just, I hope this is just not just a Band-Aid because of the price.
That's right.
It's $150,000. It's a lot of money for it to be a Band-Aid. So I'm concerned that in 2-3 years you're going to come back and say, you know what, we're going to have to buy it. And that's the only concern that I have, because I mean, you said you had 3 point what on the deferred maintenance?
Right now we're projecting 3.5.
3.5 mil. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it at the end it's staff giving us a recommendation, but that's the only concern, just like Judge said right now, that for a Band-Aid it's pretty pricey. So if and I just, that's my only concern. And then plus, um what's gonna be the warranty that we're gonna get on this?
So some of the components are just a 2-year warranty.
2-year
And
warranty.
this is even with new equipment, unfortunately. And some of the components that are in the chiller, the warranty that they provide is a 2-year.
And the company's giving you a lifespan of más o menos
Uh,
with
we-
doing this overhaul. What's their expertise of what's the
So-
lifespan that this
so
150,000 will
mostly
give us?
looking at probably extending the life of this unit another 10
10
years.
years? Okay. All right. I
Yes,
mean, if that's the
again,
recommendation from staff, but it's
yeah.
just, I
And
mean, it's a lot of money for just a Band-Aid, but
Right.
no, and I
that's
see,
not.
I do agree. We've been looking at all our HVAC equipment and our current funding. Um, and I've had some discussions with Dr. Ramirez about some of the equipment. We do have other
Prior-
chillers that are currently in worse condition than this. They're operating, but we're looking at actually replacing those units. And some of those units are here at the main campus. At least we've already identified 2 units that will most likely need to be replaced in the next 2 years. And like I said, we would be looking right now, current pricing, we would be looking at, for those 2 units, around 750 to 800,000.
for both.
So we, again, we're looking at the condition of the equipment, and based on the recommendation that we're getting, with this overhaul, we should be good for at least the next 10 years on this unit. Now, again, we do have, even with new equipment, we just finished the MFA equipment, and we're already having Crane replace one of the pumps that unfortunately came in defective. So again, it's not a guarantee that we won't have some issues, but what we're being told is that as far as the unit totally breaking down, that should not happen with the overhaul. It's just, again, making sure that the components are working and making sure that the maintenance is done.
Last question, I'm sorry. What is the, because I know I've seen a lot that we give a lot of contracts to what is it, Crane? What's their how's their customer service to come in here if we run into an issue like this, so they could be able to fix this type of issue? The reason why I ask is because, I mean, you don't want to leave certain areas without AC, especially at with these heats. So how's their customer service?
So so far they've been responsive to calls. Uh, the only issues having to do is sometimes getting the actual materials that are needed or equipment. Like, for example, we did experience an issue where the part was not available. However, they were able to find a solution for us to keep the equipment running while the part came in. So again, some of the issues sometimes have to do with the time it takes to get parts in, and it all depends on the component. But as far as they responding to calls, I have not gotten a complaint from our physical plant department that they haven't been responding to calls. But again, sometimes the issue is getting the materials in.
All right, thank you, Mr. Redland. That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
The chair recognizes Ms. Cepeda.
I just have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
With the MFA, didn't we do this prior to replacing the whole system? And it lasted over 20 years. Didn't we fix like what we're trying to do on this one? Way back, it's probably before my time, but
I would
I
need
thought we had fixed it and then it lasted another 10, 12 years until finally we had to make the big investment to change the
Yes.
whole thing.
I would need to go back and check the records. We've done some previous work on the MFA. Again, I don't know if it was to what extent of the work. Again, when we looked at the MFA, it was just not going to be feasible to do the overhaul. But
I
again,
thought we had done an overhaul
we've done one here at the main campus, but it was at the central plant, and that equipment's still running.
still running.
And it's been a couple of years since that was done. Again, I'm not sure with the MFA. I know we've done some work in the past and on that equipment. I just don't remember if it was a complete overhaul of the unit.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Vela.
I think following up on the concerns of our committee here, I think it is important that this overall ought to be monitoring, if I may call it that, keeping and being made aware, all right, that hopefully we will not undergo a major uh, situation that will have a negative impact on our enrollment and on our faculty and making sure that they are also being looked after, so to speak. I think uh, right now, because of the weather, the air conditioning system does, in my opinion, it's very important that we monitor that on a closer situation for obvious reasons that situation that we're going through right now, unfortunately. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other observation or comment from any member of this committee? No?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll continue with item number 5, and that is the approval of the construction contract for the Martinez Fine Arts Center rooftop restoration project. Again, Mr. Vela and Mr. Tijerina.
Yes, board members, this next item is requesting the approval to do a restoration of the Martinez Fine Arts Center roof. During the last storm, we did experience quite a bit of water going into the building. We had already kind of noted that we needed to do some repairs at the Martinez Fine Arts Center. We're talking about doing a complete restoration of 45,000 square feet, and this includes the different layers that the MFA building has on its roof structure. The total amount of the contract would be 1,524,350, and we are recommending that the work be done by American Contracting using TIPS Purchasing Cooperative. We are still working on getting the approval. All the documentation that's received from the contractor is submitted to TIPS for review to make sure that the pricing is in line based on the square footage and the amount of work that this project will entail. This particular contractor has already done work for us at the South Campus for the all the roofs at the South Campus, including the flat roofs and the metal roofs. And they've done the Lopez Ruben Garcia Moore building and the bookstore here. The product that is being recommended is the Karnak product, and it comes with a 20-year warranty. And there is a 2-year warranty on the labor or contract work that's done. Beyond that, the warranty will kick in, which is the 20-year warranty, and it covers both the material and the labor in case of any issues with the product. The contract amount does include a contingency of $76,218, and this is only to be used with college approval for any unforeseen items that may be discovered during the replacement of the roof. The funding would be coming from the deferred maintenance fund. And like I mentioned, we are projecting to have $3.5 million at the end of the year going into the deferred maintenance.
What is the amount?
I'm sorry?
What is the cost?
The cost is $1,524,350.
The only question I have, Judge,
Go ahead, sir.
is when you're saying the warranty, they're giving us 20, but they're giving us 2. So in reality, do they go parallel? Or is it 22 years?
No, it's parallel. So the first 2 years are under the contractor. Again, this could be for issues with the actual product or work that they performed. After that, then the warranty, the next 18 years is with Karnak, but they cover, again, both the materials and labor.
Got it. That's all I had. That's all, Judge.
Any other observation or comments or questions from a member of this committee?
No, sir.
If none, I'd like to hear a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Thank you.
We We have a motion and second. We stand adjourned. It is 6:25 in the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Good job. Keep it up. Keep it up, Mr. Vela. And hang in there, man. I'm really worried about the air conditioning system, because we are experiencing, temperatures of 100 degrees. And we want to look after faculty and our student personnel. That's important.
Worst condition last year and now we're at right now.
¿De veras? Sí.
Some of the projects that have been approved and we've done,
Ajá.
we're in much better shape now.
Than last year? Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so if we have a couple items, and that's why whether went over.
Maybe the best thing to do is get a new equipment, okay, instead of forget overhauling. Get rid of them.
Yeah, we're gonna prioritize.
Okay, do that.
So usually
Get it, yeah, might as well.